Hendo, thanks for your time. Thanks for joining us as always. A couple of disappointing results in the last couple of weeks. What's the message and the focus in the group as you look to put things right this weekend?
Look, the key focus for us is just to be working a little bit harder in terms of our effort areas and effort off the ball. I just feel we're just probably not quite competing consistently enough throughout these last couple of games that we've played. So we've just got to make sure we get back to competing hard really, and like I said, seeing a bit more effort off the ball in some of those sort of areas.
Yeah, Sheffield, the opponents this weekend, they've had a fantastic start to the season. What are you expecting from them?
Oh, look, a very stiff challenge is what I'm expecting. I certainly know the romance that Sheffield have with the Challenge Cup. They've won it in the past, and Mark Aston was part of that Challenge Cup winning team. So I certainly know he'll be using that as motivation, and I know how much he cares about the competition too. So I think we'll see a very highly motivated Sheffield team coming to the LNER Stadium on Sunday, but ultimately we're going to have to hope to see an equally hungry and motivated York side to take them on. So it should make for a cracking game. Look, we know we haven't been at our best the last couple of weeks, and I think with it being a different competition, we can take our focus away from the championship and go out there on Sunday with nothing to lose. And like I said, hopefully we can give a better account of ourselves, so we can put some faith back in our fans.
You mentioned obviously Challenge Cup this week, and how does that change the mindset and the preparations for this one? Has it changed things?
Preparation's no different. You just treat it like another sort of game in terms of how you prepare. Obviously the stakes are higher because you lose, you're out. The league campaign, you've obviously always got next week to try and fix up a few areas and be a little bit better and have another opportunity of getting 2 points. But on this occasion, it's you lose, you're out, you win, you're through. So the preparation in terms of how we approach the game is no different how we would any other game. We train similar days, we'll do similar sort of content, and how we sort of preview the opposition and then how we review ourselves, etc. So all that seems relatively the same, but obviously the goal is to get ourselves in the next round.
Yeah, £10 tickets for adults. Fantastic offer really by the club for two top championship teams taking on each other. I guess your message would be for fans to take advantage of that.
Oh, absolutely, and I think it's a great incentive there from the club. I think that's very affordable, and like I said, it's we've got such a fantastic facility here for our fans to utilise. So it's not just about the game. You get all the other things that come with the stadium. There's plenty of other activities that and areas within the stadium that they have access to and can use pre-game, post-game, and then hopefully get to enjoy the game day entertainment and also hopefully the game of rugby. And we've just got to make sure we're a lot better this week, Jacob, so we can give our fans something to cheer about and be proud of.
Injury-wise, was there any knocks from the Featherstone game last weekend?
For the first time, I can report we took no injuries from that game, which is amazing. So that's probably the biggest positive out of that fixture, if I do say so myself. No, everybody's come through injury-free. No, other than the usual bumps and bruises, but no knocks to anyone that's going to keep them out this week. So, and then it's just a case of assessing the other guys who are currently on the treatment table whether or not we'll have anybody back. I'm not so sure. I'll know a little bit more tonight and later in the week. But certainly those that played on the weekend and who missed out on the weekend, they'll all be available for selection.
Yeah, I was going to come on to that then. So just in terms of players who potentially might be back, is it still just assessing them this week?
Yeah, just assessing. We're not far off. I know for a fact we'll have a few bodies back in the next sort of 2 to 3 weeks, definitely. So Chris Clarkson, James Cunningham, John Kirby, they all should be back within the next sort of week to 3 weeks. So it's all looking pretty good at the moment for those guys. We'll see.
Yeah, and they'd be massive. It goes without saying, does it? They'd be a massive boost to the side, wouldn't they? Those three in particular.
Well, 100%. I mean, that's probably something I touched on in my post-match interview. That at the moment we're probably just lacking that little bit of competition for places. At training and going into games. I think the sort of the players know, or majority of them know that they're playing each week, and it's not to say that that they're not using not using that as sort of motivation, so to speak, but I think it's it certainly helps when you've got somebody in the wings there ready to go, and you, as a player, you're just looking over your shoulder, thinking, oh, I've got to make sure I'm on. I've got to make sure I'm on today, or I've got to make sure I'm on at training. And I just find that from my experience, when you've got a deeper squad and a healthy squad, it certainly adds a little bit more in terms of the intensity levels at training. Not to say that we haven't been training to a decent standard, but it does raise it to a degree. And then also when players do, when they finished a game, they are certainly thinking, right, have I done enough here? Who's coming back? Or okay, he's there, he's ready to take me spot. And if they haven't played well enough, then they know they're under pressure. And I think that's probably the key word. We probably don't have enough players under pressure at the moment. But ultimately, the more bodies we get back, then it certainly puts players under a bit more pressure to perform. And ultimately, if they don't perform, then they won't be in the side.